Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix both of those things together. The content tonight is going to be something you're going to need to send out and share out. Because a sheriff's department in North Carolina was just caught and admitted to accessing patients' medical files when they were applying for a concealed carry permit as part of the background check. Yeah. There's a lot of good reasons of why we don't do that. This will be one of them. Everything will be linked in the description box below. I can't wait to hear what you guys think. And please send this out to everyone that you know, because the more people that know about this, the more splash it'll make, and the more we can get this prevented in the future. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. All three of those things if you are two-way all day from the border to the border and the coast to the coast. And thank you in advance for that consideration, because we are spreading freedom. All right. Listen, guys, this one is something that we screamed from the rooftops when they started floating the idea of enhanced background checks and the Senate Safer Communities Act, all of those things, where they were like, well, we just need to dive deeper into people's medical histories to see if they get a constitutional right. What could have gone wrong? In fact, I even raised a few questions when it first was becoming all the rage to dive into people's medical histories for their Second Amendment rights, which are not related at all. I said, hey, what point does this become a HIPAA violation? And if you're not familiar, HIPAA is basically where they won't share any patient information with any other organization because it's private information. Well, it turns out they were willy-nilly handing it to sheriffs in North Carolina. Things like abortions and cesarean sections and how many kids you have, alcoholism, addictive habits, all sorts of stuff that has nothing to do with gun rights. But wait until I show you how they twisted it to make it gun rights. All right, watch this. In a 2024 deposition, so this is last year, a Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office employee told attorneys the agency sometimes receives more revealing health records than requested. As you can see right there, I have included the timestamp of this article. Let me get zoomed in for us all. Right there, January 9th, 2025. That is today. Let's zoom back out. Charlotte, North Carolina. So this is a red state. When gun owners apply for concealed carry permits in Mecklenburg County, Sheriff's Office background checks have sometimes turned up sensitive health information, including whether a person has had an abortion or has a sexually transmitted disease, a WCNC Charlotte investigation found. So we're just going to give all of our medical information to the local sheriff's office. That private stuff that you can't share anywhere else or you lose your medical license because of a HIPAA violation. So now this is okay, though, because it's the Second Amendment. Because, after all, safety. Guys, this is, if you ever look for a real life example of why we do not do this with government offices, here's another one. In response to WCNC's Charlotte's reporting, a state lawmaker plans on filing legislation to limit what he considers invasive background checks. Oh, well, guys, that's weird because they said it would be safe and effective, kind of like abortion, but only background checks. Said it would be very private, only the deep dive into the histories of the medical health to prevent any type of safety concern. Guys, they're just accessing everything willy-nilly. All right, watch. Quote, what I'm going to do is get with the drafting folks, and we're going to look at legislation and see how we curtail this so that only the information that's necessary for law enforcement to make decisions on concealed carry is the only thing that they're provided with. Again, confirmation from a legislator that they were openly just sharing all the medical information of anyone who went for a concealed carry license. How's that make you guys feel? Let me know in the comments field, because if you live in North Carolina in this area, it's possible this happened to you. I'm just saying. All right, let's keep on. Quote, they're also releasing information such as, quote, has a person had an abortion? Do they have any sexually transmitted diseases, Shook said. Really invasive personal information that the sheriff doesn't need in order to make a decision about whether or not they should be able to carry a firearm. So, obvious on its face, that's not the sheriff's decision. But that's not what I'm focusing on right now. That's just kind of the obvious state of play. What we're really talking about right now is in going after a mandated approval from the sheriff for an enhanced background check, they're getting your medical private history files. So, if you have diabetes, well, they're going to know you have diabetes. Did you have a wild night in San Juan? Well, they're going to know if you had the old herpaderp. Everyone's going to know about everything you got because, after all, this is for safety. What's that to do with the Second Amendment? Nothing really. Oh, hey, were you pregnant recently? Because you're also going to get your medical files shown, because you never know. Pregnancy can be related to depression. Guys, I'm not making this up. Watch. Shook settled a lawsuit with the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office in 2024. So this isn't a deposition, and it's already settled. Okay? After the agency failed to issue concealed carry permits in a timely manner, which is a whole nother thing. During depositions for that case, an MCSO employee detailed a wide range of records the agency has received from health providers during background checks, like whether a woman had a cesarean section or how many children someone has had and more. The employee admitted providers have sometimes handed over records the sheriff's office didn't even request. Doesn't that make you feel cozy? God, this is why we don't do this. Because when you have a least common denominator of some mixed-matched, just gross aberration of medical field and law enforcement field, then that has to combine somehow to decide if you get your Second Amendment rights. No, this is not difficult. No. This is why we resist the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act so much, because it dove directly into your medical files, into your medical histories. This is why this is a bad idea, because it's a Pandora's box that gets everywhere. All right. Quote, sometimes hundreds of pages are sent, but these may contain no evidence suggesting the applicant is unfit to safely handle a handgun, and the concealed handgun permit is granted after they looked at 100 pages of your files in your medical field, medical history. MCO's statement said, other times, only a few pages are sent, yet they reveal significant concerns, such as evidence of an addiction, not an addiction, evidence of an addiction, or mental health issues, which could lead to a denial. Even records from providers not specializing in mental health, such as OB/GYNs, may be relevant. For example, discussions about an abortion might indicate severe depression or suicidal thoughts, raising concerns about the applicant's ability to handle a handgun safely. That last sentence, this is why we do not give this broad subjective power to an organization like this, because they've gone from it's all about figuring out mental health. Oh, wait a minute. Mental health can be related to depression. And you know who else can get depressed? Postpartum women and cesarean women and women who suffered an abortion or chose to do an abortion. All those people could potentially be related to depression. So therefore, we've got to knock on the OB/GYN's office, because you never know when some really scary medical thing's going to pop up. It's called mission creep. That's what this is. This is personal medical files that are suffering under mission creep to see if you get your Second Amendment rights, which are already yours. Let's keep going. Again, you can't just keep going. Two existing state laws seem to muddy this even more. One only allows for the release of records concerning the mental health or capacity of the applicant when considering a person's qualifications, mental health, or capacity. The other requires the sheriff to consider any, quote, physical or mental infirmity when determining whether a person's CHP permit should be approved or denied. That's how you do it. You go any physical or mental concern. Well, wait a minute. Women who are postpartum sometimes are depressed. All the OB/GYNs, let's get in here. Wait a minute. They had organ transplant surgery, when sometimes the side effect of that medication can be mood swings and irritability, and in rare cases, depression. So, let's get the organ transplant list. Guys, it never ends. This is why we don't do this. And I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek, not all the way tongue-in-cheek. It's kind of like half-cheek. But legitimately, this is a serious concern. How is this not a HIPAA violation? But this is what's happening at our state and federal level. Keep going. Do you have anything else? Oh, I had something with pregnant ladies in there. Oh, well. You get the idea. In summation. Yeah, that's right. In summation. So in summation here, guys, what we're dealing with is mission creep around research for safety to determine if you get your Second Amendment rights on all of your medical records. We told you this was going to happen. We said and sounded the alarm all the time when they start talking about mental health care background checks and all these different pieces that are meant to be safe. A lot of finger quotes in this part of the video. Guys, this is how mission creep happens. This is how we go down Pandora's box. This is how the can of worms goes up all over the floor. This is a freaking problem, and you need to make sure everyone knows about it, because this is where they go when they have carte blanche subjective interpretation of what they're supposed to do to keep people safe. One more for you guys, and that's what I've got. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Send this to everyone you know, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. Later.